in psycho hypnosis. So that was my path, right? You don't need to do that, but you have to be honest with yourself, because this is the thing. The whole complaining and bitching during the day, it tells you one thing: wherever you are is not where you want to be, right? So you look at something and say, okay, there's a gap between where I am and where I want to be, and in between I'm complaining and sad and frustrated, right? So that's the first reality check. And the second reality check is, what I'm desiring, is that feasible, right? I mean, right now, could I be an astronaut? Of course not. You know, could I be a commercial pilot? No. But maybe that's not even what you want. I mean, this is just like the desires of the flesh, right? But most people want is to have a comfortable life. And a good number is, all the studies show, $70,000. If people make $70,000, $80,000 a year, you know, that is a comfortable earning for most people. I'm not saying that you have to go that, right? But if everybody made $70,000 a year, I can tell you that the world will be a different place, right? So the tips are it's very idiosyncratic. It depends on you. But I think the first thing is to realize, and I know it sounds cliche because we hear this all the time from these mega motivational speakers. Oh, you can do it, blah, but they don't tell you. They want to sell your books and all this. You can break patterns. You can definitely break pattern. And now we understand this, because we used to think again in the past that the brain would not make a new neuron cell. Say, well, you have just this amount of neurons, and when you smoke weed, you destroy and you become retarded. No, we know that that's not the case. We are capable of what they call neurogenesis.
Regenerating,
So we produce more neuronal cells. So you have this brain plasticity. It doesn't matter if you come from a messed up home, if you come from a messed up past, if you have a different pattern in how to think and see the world. There are ways out there. I mean, you have something called Google. Most of what I learned for free.
Right.
You know,
it's out there. Knowledge is out there. It's the age of Aquarius.
Age of information. So I don't want to preach of how you have to do it, but you have to be brutally honest with yourself. And maybe, Brendan, this is the most difficult part, right? This is the most difficult part, because once you're brutally honest with yourself and say, okay, I'm a douchebag, I'm a procrastinator, I'm not doing this, and I need to change, that puts the whole thing square in your lap in terms of responsibility. And also, from that point, capabilities of change. But we, as individuals, as human beings, we are addicted to the scapegoat thing. It's my dad's fault, it's my mom's fault.
The devil made me do it.
The devil made me do it. It's awesome, right? The devil made me do it. And it's a very comfortable proposition, right? I mean, it's someone else's fault. This is why we're addicted at, let me fix your life, Brendan, and my life is a whole mess, right? And that is the most difficult part, to be 100% honest with yourself. I've been through it. My ex-wife, for example, she threw some truth bombs. At the time, I'm like, wow. And at the time, I did not accept it, and I only accepted it years later. So yes, it's not easy. It takes time, but it's worth it. Because we're talking about your life.
I'm glad you because that was kind of part of an inkling of what I was going to get into about how to do it. Because we all have habits. And my thing is this: first thing first is awareness. One of my catchphrases: awareness is godliness.
Awareness is what?
Awareness is godliness. So being aware of it. First thing first, you got to go within inside yourself and learn how to slow those thoughts down and really reflect on and play those things back in your head. But you don't play those things back in your head over and over and over, those days that you messed up or quote unquote messed up or hurt people or whatever. You play it back to learn and forgive yourself. You gotta learn how to forgive yourself first before you can move on. Like you said, you touched on earlier. Yes, I'm a chubby fat kid. People are scared of me. People are intimidated by me. You know, I'm not the fastest athlete. I'm not this. I'm not that. But it's okay.
This whole obsession of being the first,
right? Or being perfect.
First.
And your perfection is by somebody outside what they engineered. You're perfect for you, and you're perfect for the time and the date that you came into this existence. You're here to learn and experience. So once you realize that hey, I don't have to fit inside of your definitions of what I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
For what I've done, I did it because I wanted to experience it and I wanted to learn it.
Yeah.
Now let me turn the table and learn from this. Because the thing is, everybody makes mistakes. The difference between the men and the boys, or the women and the girls, is that the adults learn from the mistakes.
Yeah. Some adults learn from
right.
mistakes.
Well, they're supposed to. If not, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. So, if you let that cycle repeat itself, then you didn't learn anything. So forgive yourself first. Go within, reflect, forgive yourself, move on. Now, based on my experience, I've seen this before. Because in a moment of panic or in a moment of truth, you're going to result back to your training. So learn from your experience. Hey, I've seen this before. I looked at the results. It was adverse results. I don't want to go that way, so let me go this way. So now you experience. Hey, when I drink, it's like when I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. Let me and I want to get to a personal note, but let me cap this point first. I've seen it. Let me go into the higher self and go this way, and let's see how this plays out this way. That's what your experience is for, to learn from it. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and over, you'll never get out of that mud. You'll never get out of that rut that you're in.
Yeah.
Reflect, forgive yourself, take that experience, do the opposite. Now, next point, how I do things, you said it earlier. The Greek phrase, know thyself. It's actually an ancient Kemetic phrase. It's actually older than the Greek, but know thyself. Be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Know who you are, meaning that I know I have an addictive personality. I know I get addicted to the convenience of fast food. Not the taste of the fast food, the convenience of the fast food. I know that I never tried drugs because I know I don't want to get addicted to it because I have an addictive personality. Recognize and be aware of, hey, if I like certain things, and if those things are detrimental, stay away from them. But you got to be honest with yourself. If you're denying, I ain't like that, and you're lying to yourself, that's the worst person you can lie to is yourself. If you're lying to yourself, you will never heal. So forgive yourself, be honest with yourself, set your goals on what you want to do. And I talked about goals in my series 8, all positive energy, is that your goals got to be outside of yourself in order for really to achieve them. So if you set your goals outside of yourself to help humanity, all of this will fall into place. But again, you got to go within inside yourself, know thyself, be honest with yourself. And I give another tip that I do, and this is not for everybody, and I'll go ahead and open the floor one more time. How I do it is, and to kick bad habits, is, I don't know if you remember this movie called Brewster's Millions with Richard Pryor and John Candy?
No.
This was an 80s movie, and the premise, real quickly, family, is that Richard Pryor's quote-unquote black guy, because he had a rich uncle, Caucasian uncle that he didn't know about, left him $300 million.
That story is, yes, it's
right.
old.
Right, so his uncle wanted to teach him a lesson, and he wanted to teach him a lesson about spending money, spending habits. So he made a contest that you had to spend $30 million and not own anything in 30 days in order to get the $300 million. So by the time that 30 days was over, he was sick of spending money. So he learned in that 30 days how to preserve money. He was so frivolous, he had to spend the $30 million without owning. Only thing he could own was a shirt on his back. So he had to rent all his clothes. He couldn't just give it away. He had to spend it.
Yeah.
So by the end of that 30 days, he was so sick of spending money. How I do it is I call it guerrilla mentality. I eat, like I said, one of my bad habits, one of the last bad habits that I have is fast food and eating garbage. What I did, when I took this couple of years off from bodybuilding, I ate all the nasty stuff that I couldn't eat. All the pizzas, all the Whataburgers and stuff like that. Until now, it doesn't even taste good. I did it to extreme. Boom, boom, boom. I had a Whataburger. Hey, let me try the Whataburger with this. Tried all different angles.
Yeah, all variations.
All kind of variations. Now I see, all right, I had enough of it. I'm sick of Whataburger. I'm sick of pizza. I'm sick of the garbage. I experienced it. Mm-hmm. I seen the adverse results. Now what am I going to do? I see where it takes me. I'm big. It's harder for me to breathe. I'm getting less compliments as far as the women and stuff like that. Do I want this to continue?
Yeah. It's the honesty.
It's the honesty. So now this is what motivates me to turn the corner. But if I just say, nah, I don't, cold turkey, I don't want to do it, that willpower is not going to be built up.
Yeah.
I seen how I get it. Now what am I going to do about it? Same thing with anything. It goes with, and that's the perfect segue to the last segment. And I know this is going to be a controversial segment.
But before we get I want to say something about
go ahead.
Because you raised very, very interesting points. And with my clients at my office and with my friends, I try to be as practical as I can in offering examples, right? So you said something very wise about habits. You know, is the habit formation is because of the vice or because of the convenience of things?
Right.
So a good book for you guys to read, a very easy book from a journalist called Charles Duhigg, Habit. And it is the most famous book about habit right now, but you can buy other ones. But he talks about, one of his examples is he thought he was addicted to the little cookie, the Starbucks cookie. Mm-hmm. It's like a damn cookie this size is like 600 calories on it. I don't know how they can put so many calories in that thing. But then he started like, my God, I'm gaining weight, and what is this? And he had to do these stages of self-analysis. Right. And without extending too much, it was not the cookie, it was the time that they would take off at 4 p.m. Mm-hmm. and 3 of them would go down to Starbucks and either smoke or talk a little bit about the day. And he said, oh, it's not the cookie, I'm addicted to the social interaction. Right. And then but he had to spend time figuring this out. Now he goes back to Starbucks, he still goes to Starbucks, mm-hmm. and he orders his coffee or his tea, but not the cookie anymore. The cookie was never the problem, right? Other thing about your habit formation and being honest with yourself and reprogramming yourself. Another great book, The Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton. Dr. Bruce Lipton is one of the pioneers of epigenetics and psychoneuroimmunology. Right. And that's the science that sort of like deals with these things, like these patterns of behavior. And he uses a very interesting term called reprogramming the subconscious state. What you're talking about, forgive yourself, love yourself. It's easy for you to say, like, I forgive myself, but the reprogramming of the tape, because the subconscious mind keeps just running the tape, and that's what guides your life, right? You know, you see the wife saying, I would never be like my mother, and then the friend says, my God, you're just like your mother. Right. Because that's the training that you're saying.
Subconscious.
You have to reprogram the tape, and you do that by what? By stopping, by breathing, by meditating, and saying, no, I'm not that. I'm this. Right. This is what I'm going to do. And I know it sounds stupid, but it works. That's how it's done. And the third thing, just to close this part, of techniques and strategies. While you're talking, it came to my mind something, for example, that Benjamin Franklin created. He created something called the Virtue Diary. And he was obsessed with self-development. And he created this thing that, this list of 13 virtues that he, principles that he wanted to follow. So listen more, like you said, decide the value of silence and honesty and doing things without expecting recompense. And he had these 13 virtues listed and the days of the week listed here. And then at the end of the day, he would get home, open that and say, okay, how many times was I a douchebag today? Right. And then he would mark. Boom, I was honest here, I did this, I helped here. So at the end of a month, he would have this whole chart in front of him, visually seeing like, okay, I mistreated the waitress this many times, or I helped the old lady go across the street this many times. And that's how you reprogram reprogram your brain, right? You have, if you cannot measure, you cannot improve,
right?
You have to be able to catalog information and measure development and see what you know.
And actually, analyze and, be aware of, look at it through an observer point of view.
Yeah.
Don't look at it through a skewed point of view. Look at it through a third. If I was looking at myself,
that's a great exercise. Yeah.
How would you look back on that interaction?
I had a mentor who said something. He would say something like this, like, Euler, if you could, like, would you be a friend? Would you be your friend if you were outside?
Right.
Would you hang out with a person like you?
Right.
Would you sit and have coffee with a person like you?
Right.
And that is a valuable exercise, and that scares people.
Right.
Because when you ask this question on the third person, like, ugh, I don't know, because I'm grumpy or I mistreat people.
And that's the only way you could heal.
Absolutely, there's no other way.
Because my catchphrase in 8, people that's following, I appreciate all the comments and all that, and all the text messages, I appreciate that. But in 8, my catchphrase is, it's not what you think that you are, it's not what you say that you are, it's what you do is what you actually truly are.
Once you actualize that, the whole thinking process.
Right. So what you do, we're doers. Look at what you do, and really look at it through an objective lens. Mm-hmm. Now I see the flaw. I see all the so-called flaw. I see where I can improve this. I can improve this. And it's a constant thing. It's never going to end. That's what we're here for. We're here for the experience. How can I do that better? Or I'm satisfied with the outcome result of that. That's just what this is.
And one important thing, since I'm a wellness coach, I have people that come to me. But let me tell you, you don't necessarily need a wellness coach. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, he said so many times, if people practiced more of the self-analysis at home, of the dream analysis, all this, very few would come to my office. Right? So you can have a parent, a relative, a friend, an honest friend to say, hey, give me guidelines. So many times I sent a message to my WhatsApp group of the very close friends, say, listen, tell me 3 things about me that you admire.
Right.
And tell me 3 things about me that drives you crazy. And they tell me. They say, Euler, you talk too much. You talk over people. I heard this so many times from my ex-wife and ex-girlfriends, and this is something that I've been working for the past 5 years, and I've been getting better. Right. The whole.
If you're not aware of the problem, how can you solve
they
the
say,
problem?
Euler, you're so nice, but you have to, every time we start talking, you go over them like, oh my God.
Well, so do most salesmen. That's what I used to have to train myself.
Maybe that's a problem, right? With the whole thing, and you have to stop and say, oh, let me shut up, and really let me listen to what Brendan is saying, and pay attention.
Well, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for one reason. For a reason. It's to listen. We should listen twice as much as we speak. Yeah. And the real lessons is when you sit back and analyze and reflect. The internal. Remember, go in instead of out. So that's one thing. And the whole book on active listening. And people think listening and hearing is the same. It's not.
Yeah.
But I want to get to the last point because I don't want to keep it too long.
Yes, sir.
One of the major habits. And I want to say this, with extreme caution. One of the major habits that we've been socially engineered and programmed to develop, and we don't even know it's become a habit, is sex. We're taught, especially I think in this particular society, we're over sex, even at a young age. It's there, boom, boom, boom. Everything is based around this one thing.
Yeah.
We're over-sexualized in this particular society. My question to you is that, can sex impair your mental being and your wellness and also your spiritual health? Can that be a detriment to your development? Can that be a detriment to your success rate or your materialization in this particular plane? And I'll get to my story later, but I'll let you respond. I'll get to my stories, but I'll let you go ahead and open the floor to you.
Yes, sir. Okay. So starting a little bit, we just said the problem that we have in this country over sexualization. This is in the West, right? I'm from Brazil. We have this there. This happens in Europe and here. For one reason, sex is a very powerful archetype.
Right.
And And if you attach that to everything that you sell,
Right.
that's it. It talks to the limbic system.
Right.
It talks to the hindbrain, the reptilian brain. And even when I tell you that that's what's happening, you still go there and do it.
Right.
When you see the hot lady in the bikini holding a beer, we go like, I know what you're doing,
Right.
but your brain's still going like,
It still looks good.
It's still making the connection with the beer, right?
Right.
It is a fantastic thing, and this is what some of these people know. They have this knowledge about us, and that's what they use it, right? Perception without awareness, subliminal message, all that stuff that today some people try to discredit. But try to get one marketing company on the record talking about subliminal message. They don't.
Right.
They don't. They say it's just crap, but they never talk. And when you see the memorandum, the backside memorandum, when it's leaked, the training manual is there. How to do it. What is the manual that was leaked from Pepsi when they changed to the new logo? It was a 200-page or something. Man, it's almost like rocket science manual.
Right.
Like what?
Right.
Just to change the logo.
Right.
They get into the Earth rotation and metaphysics and
Well,
all kinds of stuff.
Right. Everything is metaphysics.
Yeah, and people go like, wait, did they use that really? Yes, because it works.
They're playing at a different level.
Yeah.
Is what I'm,
It is in a different level. And,
Right.
and channels like Brendan's channel and other channels and other people, they're trying to, quote unquote, wake people up,
bridge the gap.
right, to bridge the gap, not to this new reality. It has been like this forever.
It's not a new reality. It's been you
It's been
just
like
being
this
aware
forever.
of it
Yeah.
and learning the game and playing, according to the game. Because successful people already know this.
Okay, so let me follow this, right? So we don't get off track. Sex is a wonderful thing, right? It's a wonderful thing. Unfortunately, nowadays it's not done as it was intended, right?
Right.
Because you see, because of the addiction for stimuli, everything needs to be more and more
Right.
and more and
Right.
more and more, right? This one right now you see. There's a famous kid. I think he's 11 now, but he started when he was 8 or 9. And he's a drag queen, and the parents say, yeah, you can become a drag queen. He has millions of followers on YouTube, and there's videos of him. He's 11,
Right.
with all these semi-naked men. And how is this okay? How is this over-sexualization of the kid okay? In the name of being progressive and open and free, right? So that is the shadow. That's the negative thing of sexuality, right? It all comes down, in my opinion, to what you want, right? So I am an avid reader. I devoted most of my adult life in trying to understand life and the universe and God. I realized that I don't understand shit, the more you read of it. So I decided to move back into, okay, how can I experience things instead of trying to rationalize the universe? So now I go into practices such as meditation, holotropic breathing, and self-analysis, dream analysis, active imagination. That is enough for me. But just by doing that, for example, it changed my view about sexuality. I was not a saint. I did crazy shit when I was young, right? I cheated on girlfriends when I was young. And now, this is unthinkable. This is unthinkable to me because how I see sex right now is I see that as part of the big picture of the connection with another human being, right? And I'm not saying be virgin, marry virgin. I'm not preaching, I'm not doing anything. Other people, like I have a friend who is way into the whole mystical path, and he wants to follow into the Eastern trainings and all this. And he sees that the sex is an impediment. And I don't know, I believe he may be. It may be an impediment because that's energy that you use, what the mystics talk about, the sexual chakra being also the creative chakra. So we use this sexual energy to create things. And if you're having sex 6-7 times a week with 6-7 different women, you are probably misutilizing a lot of this energy, right? If you want to be a monk, if you want to be a priest, and this is why, by the way, that's the significance behind these chastity vows and all this, because you use every single ounce of your mental energy, psychological, metaphysical energy into connecting with deity. Well, I'm not any of that. We were talking before, like, I don't want to be a monk in the Himalayas. I just want to be the best healer I can be here, so I can help, I can contribute on this. I want to have a partner, I want to have sex in the most healthy way, and let me define healthy as not being promiscuous, not being risky, and trying to cultivate commitment, relationship, and connection with my partner. I don't know if I answered your question thoroughly, but that's more or less what I think about sex.
Somewhat. Before, I'm a kind of the question was, does it impair your mental health, and does it impair your spiritual health? And the answer to that, and I want to get into my breakdown, and it'll be a whole lecture, so I don't want to get. I'm gonna give you a little snippets of a lot of things real quick, and I hope y'all follow along. I'm gonna say it slow, so I hope y'all follow along. But my answer is yes, it can. Anything in excess,
Well, absolutely, yes.
and anything that's not done properly can harm you.
Yeah.
Just like the chemicals that they put in food and the stuff that they pass off as food, if you really look at it, it's not supposed to be food.
Yeah.
Same thing they've done with our sexuality. They twisted it, and when I say they, I mean people that social engineered. It's twisted now than what it was actually supposed to originally be. And what it originally was supposed to be is supposed to be that connection between, male and female, to actually birthing a soul and arranging that Kundalini energy together and creating a soul and bringing a soul into existence. That's what it originally supposed to be. Now it's been perverted to, all this is a billion-dollar industry, and it's used to sell beverages now. That's what it's become. This is the process. This is GMO form of sexuality. Originally, it was a divine thing. That was the closest thing that you can do, that you can get to the Most High when you're engaging in that act. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, like the whole concept of sex magic,
Right,
or
right.
Kama Sutra and all this relates to these ideas.
And I'm gonna get to that in a second here. So the answer to you, and again, you don't have to be like me, family. I've learned, and I've been revealed again. Like I said, I think when I go into my tangents, I think, and a lot of people that know me, I don't come up with this by myself. I tap in and I kind of get my answers from a divine source. I think that we use and misuse sex in the wrong place. And I think that even socially, how we're constructed with the one man and one woman family structure is kind of awful. What we used to normally do, we used to have wives. And that was the family structure. You had tribes, you had wives, and that's what it was. So the idea of cheating, this is a new Western Roman-centric concept.
Yeah, they say that the whole thing, one partner started in the Victorian time.
Right, it's a Victorian life.
I don't know.
So it's conditioned upon conditioning.
Yeah.
So the cheating thing, that's a whole aspect of, because we don't have, we lost the polygamy that we used to be. That's how the family structure used to be. And it's still practiced a lot of, in African countries, one of my native country, Nigeria, it's still legal, it's still practiced. It's just in the Western society that we're set up like that with the cheating and stuff.
Well, I have a few thoughts about that.
Right.
Yeah.
But let me finish my thought.
Yeah.
And so that knocks out that particular element as far as cheating element. I think as well that energy and those minerals that we use that creates the sperm, and that's in the sperm, is powerful minerals. And when you extract those from the body, your body has to in turn make those up. And it takes some time. It's not an instantaneous thing.
It takes 72 hours.
Right. So if you're an addict, you're 3-4 times a day.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's in the excess. You just like with eating the fast food, and you don't give your body a chance to recover. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, especially with with women with multiple partners and us with multiple partners, and that's not wise, and it's not in the social structure that it's supposed to be in. That stress is detrimental to your health.
I agree.
Does that make sense? So if it's put in the proper context of how it originally was supposed to be, hey, this is a connection, and we do this as a connection amongst my wives that's in a family, we're moving as a unit together. In that context, it could be healthy. But if I got baby mamas, and I'm trying to juggle them and sneak around and try to do it, that's a whole different thing. Does that make sense? So you got natural, you got GMO. So my thing is, and what I'm doing to combat this, is I want to take it back to the original. And I'm holding out, meaning that I've stopped having orgasmic sex. And just wean myself, same thing with the Whataburger and all. I wean myself out, and I figured out that, hey, the more you do it, the more you release, you're never satisfied. Never. There's never going to be enough to satisfy you. The only way you get that true satisfaction is raising that Kundalini energy, tapping into that Christ consciousness with the mate that's on the same wavelength. That high in the sexual gratification, not on the same level. Mm-hmm. Not on the same level. So I will hold out for the ultimate, before I just go, for the fast food. Same thing with fast food. A Whataburger is not the same as a gourmet steak or whatever, you sit down at a restaurant and you put perfume on. It's not the same as going through a drive-thru. That's kind of what we're doing with this casual sex thing. It's fast food. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it doesn't fill you up. It's not nutritious. Yeah. There's no nutrients there. So when you do it out of love and you connect with that person and you're doing something to birth that soul, you can't compare to casual.
Yeah, you talk about you said that you're practicing,
Wait, before let me finish this. So I'm practicing non-orgasmic sex, even when I do get married, if that's in the most highs and if that's in my future, I'm still going to do that with the wife. Mm-hmm. And it got to be a poly situation for me. Well, I believe in polygyny. Not polygamy. It's two different things. Look it up. Polygyny. So it's going to be the same thing. Think about it. And I'll go ahead and open the floor after that. Think about it. How it was originally supposed to be done. Think about if you have that non-orgasmic sex and you practice that white tantra, how would your feelings toward that woman be? They'll keep that feeling there. But think about it. As soon as you release, with me, it's like, all right, you got to move. So you got to get about it. So, but think about if we take hours and have that, that connection. Mm. How would that satisfy you as opposed to boom, that quick Whataburger, boom, release, all right, my belly's full, but I'm still hungry. That's why you're never going to be full.
Are you opening the floor now?
Go ahead.
Well, I have to respectfully disagree with a few points.
Right.
Me as a researcher, as a semi-academic, right. I raise my radar every time I hear terms like natural, originally, and I go like, okay, I was not there, and all we know is what we read, right? I don't know. I don't buy for it. So let me start with this. The whole idea of having an orgasm. So in Kama Sutra and Sex Magic, we have the concept of ejaculation versus ejaculation, right? So that's what we're talking about. The focus is on the sexual act and not the orgasm. I buy that. Mm-hmm. I buy that. So you don't see the woman as the vehicle to take me to the orgasm, but you see the woman as a partner to experience this whole thing together. However, we know by now our current science that the orgasm is also a powerful tool to mitigate stress and anxiety, right? So you can choose what type of situation you're gonna have. Like, okay, I really need an orgasm to unwind and take all this, and it works. People say this. People say that we have biological markers and all this that indicate that. So you need to see what you're gonna do. I don't have anything against the idea of ejaculation. So you build that with your wife, and then you create your own system of sexuality. The many partners. I don't know if I buy this, because it only goes on one end. It only goes with one male and then several females. You know, it's very hard to see the opposite, the one female and several males. And I think that's one skewed version of tribes of the past. That, okay, no, I'm the chief and I'm going to have several women. I don't know if I also buy the whole concept. Okay, you have to find one female partner and you have to do whatever it takes. I hear there's you do whatever it takes to stay married forever. I go, what? But what do you mean? What if it doesn't work anymore? Like, what do you do? I'm divorced, and my ex-wife is an amazing person, and we're actually still friends.
Right.
But as husband and wife, we didn't work out.
Right.
I believe, however, in open communication. If I find a partner and I say, listen, this is how I roll, this is how I want to be, would you accept this idea of being in a poly relationship, right? Can I find another female and bring in? I mean, I'm a libertarian in that way. So you create the system that works for you. But I don't risk saying that that's the original way or natural way. The same way that I don't risk saying about men and women originally sex was. I don't know. We know for a fact when we open the sacred books that the whole idea of man with man, women with women have been with us forever. And I'm not going to put my finger on things saying, okay, but that's the wrong way, that's not the natural way. I think that, going back to the thing, if you're honest with yourself, if you know who you are, if you know what you like, and you express that in your sexuality, I don't see any problem with that. I see a problem, however, in the perversion of that. And my idea of perversion is hypersexualization of youth. A child doesn't know shit about anything, and suddenly now you're saying, oh, it's okay to be a drag queen. It's okay to be this. It's okay to be that. And you're not doing a good service to that child. Child needs nurturing, freedom, and love, and then that kid will grow up and they will figure things out. That's where I stand.
Right. I mean, the reason why I say, well, not only is it backed up through history, books, and again, I understand. I'm with you on it's books, so people can I can put 1 + 1 = 5, and write it in the book, and
And they get into translation.
Right.
Was this translated right? Did he mean this and that?
But when you tap into something greater than yourself, again, my thing is when you invoke that deity, and when you tap in, it's almost like we're a cell phone, and you tap in online, and all the answers will reveal itself. So I'm guided by a higher. I always talk.
And it's
right.
Yeah.
And that's why I say for me.
Yeah.
That's why I always preface that.
Yeah.
For me, and what I'm going through, I'm going more towards what I was led to believe or led to be aware of. This is the original way. So if it's not the original way for you, that's fine.
Yeah.
Remember, we're all universe. You're your own universe. Yeah. So, and you're here to create what you want to create. You're a mini creator. So, what I'm creating is a family, a tribe, and hopefully a nation of people that kind of think like I think and want to go this route. And